Thought I would do a little video on my Kawasaki Versys X300. It is a 2017 model, and I have done a lot of modifications to it to make it more of an adventure bike. But right out of the dealership, I wouldn't say that they are ready for the dirt. But with a few modifications, I think you can have yours ready, and it's quite a good adventure bike. So anyway, real quick story why I chose this bike. It was kind of an accident. I had never ridden on the streets before. I grew up with dirt bikes, but it had been quite a long time, and was actually looking for a scooter just to carry with me camping and put on the back on one of those racks on my motorhome. And so I wanted something lightweight, and went to my local dealership, and they didn't have a scooter. But the salesman said, "Hey, take a look at this." And so I said, "Well, this is a lot sexier than a scooter, and it's light enough to fit on the rack on the back of the motorhome. So maybe this would be an option." So went home, thought about it for the evening, did some YouTubing, researching, and lo and behold, went back and bought it the next day. So the first thing I did was something you're not going to see inside, but it was a Sprocket Change. These bikes are pretty high strung as they come from the dealer, and first gear is practically unusable. So to calm it down, my guy at the dealership suggested changing the front sprocket out, and so this is the one he ordered for me. It's a 15 tooth sprocket, and here's the old sprocket in here. But anyway, popped that in there for me, and all of a sudden we had much more friendly bike. First and second, still plenty of power in the lower gears, and calm down at highway speeds just enough so that it was a little more fun to drive at the highway speeds. And I think I actually picked up about 2 miles per gallon as well, which is not bad. By the way, not sure what you guys are getting, but I have pretty much averaged between 60 and 70 miles per gallon on this bike, which with a 4.5 gallon tank, I think is pretty impressive range for this type of bike. So anyway, changed out the sprocket, and then the next thing was a center stand. This is a T-Rex center stand, but T-Rex makes a really nice center stand. It bolts right in, no problem at all. And it, I wish it would have came with that, but it didn't. So it's an easy fix. And then that led me over to this nice engine guard here, a skid plate I should say, and it was pretty easy to put on. And then went with the engine guard from T-Rex as well, and it was it is a nice beefy unit, and definitely makes the bike look a little beefier. Right away I could tell the factory tires were okay for the street, but didn't do very well on the dirt. Did a little research and decided to go with the Shinko 804 805s called Revzilla, and they gave me a suggestion. Been very happy with these. They look like they wouldn't ride very good on the pavement, but honestly, you can barely tell the difference between these and the factory tires on the pavement. But there's a monster difference when it comes to off-roading. Then, as you're out riding around, you need to be able to charge up everything. So I added a charger, and let me turn that on for you. So I went with the double USB, also has a voltmeter there. I originally went with a traditional cigarette lighter plug and was using an adapter to charge things, but it stuck out just enough so when you moved your handlebars, the cords were sticking out and they would constantly hit. This being flush enough, no more problem. The handlebars can go by and the cords are not a problem. So I would recommend that. It was pretty cheap. Had to get a relay that fits down underneath here. It's took a little while, and I wound up taking a lot more plastic off to put it on than really needed to. Could have probably just reached my hand up underneath and done most of everything. But it's pretty cool. So when you start up, you'll see you're getting a reading. So you can check your voltage as well, which is just nice. And then I have not chosen to use this yet. I guess if I wanted to add some more lights to it, I could, but my intention is not to ride it in the dark, so except on the street, and that's not very often. I try to keep my riding mostly during the daylight hours. Okay, so next, with these tires, I also wanted to be really careful and not have a problem with air pressure, so I added this little tick air pressure monitoring system. It's pretty cool. It just attaches through Bluetooth to these little caps. They connect wirelessly. It's a really cool system, and the battery on this thing lasts amazingly, like for months. I'm saying like 4, 5, 6 months, I think, is what I've been getting out of this thing. It's really good. Also shows the temperature, but it is in Celsius. So anyway, I think that's a really worthwhile safety feature. Added a RAM mount here for a GoPro stalk. I'll show you that. Also a phone mount here, mainly used for just navigation on the some of the routes. You can download your tracks to Gaia. That's what I use, and I go and download the tracks that are for off-road into my Gaia app, and works great, even of course with no cell service. Okay, there's the GoPro stalk, as I was mentioning. Mount the GoPro right up there, and I put one facing back at me and then one on my helmet to try to catch a lot of cool shots as we're riding. And so next, let's move on to these hand guards, these Acerbeast hand guards. Now, I will say that did have to do a little bit of modifying. These went right on, no problem, but they would hit right here. So next thing I had to do was put some risers. So I put these handlebar risers right here. It was pretty simple. They come with the bolts. You just got them off. I got them off of eBay, and just take the handlebars off and put these on. It's no problem. Okay, and then next, you'll notice these are not the stock handlebars. Those handlebars were not very impressive, to be honest. I was strapping it down to carry on the back of the motorhome, and they bent a little bit. You can see it's a pretty thin gauge metal, so they I was not impressed with those. But these Renthal ones I went with, they are aluminum, but they are probably about 3 or 4 times thicker, and seem to be a little lighter and much stronger. So put the handlebars on. The big improvement was this seat. Now, the factory seat, as many of you know, is not very comfortable. It was a great sitting and riding position. I really liked that part, but man, it was hard. It was ridiculously hard. So looked around on the internet and found Seat Concepts, and they manufacture custom foam in a standard and a taller seat, and I'm I'm 6'2" and enjoy sitting up a little bit more. So I got the tall seat and really pleased with it. A lot of good grip on this standard seat. And I own an embroidery company, so I had to get a little fancy, of course, and add the logo. That was not from Seat Concepts, that was from me. And then it was time. I think I had the bike just about like I wanted it, as far as being able to travel off-road and have everything be able to handle the environment. Then it was time to start accessorizing with some luggage, so I'll go over that next. So before I show you this on the bike, let me just make a note here about the plate. This was extra. It doesn't come with the box, but these bikes are great for having a nice heavy-duty rack that is very easy to mount this on and very sturdy, much sturdier than some other bikes. I also have a Himalayan, and we had to do a few modifications to strengthen up that rack because I don't think it would have held. The metal was much thinner. So anyway, let me put the case up there. Okay, so it's really pretty simple. This case just slides right in and snaps right down. Too easy. It's very simple, and it's a very heavy-duty case. 42 liters in this one. I really like it. It's the exact same company that builds the Triumphs and the BMWs and everything, so it's the same exact looking case as you would see on those bikes, and able to carry a good amount of stuff in that case. But then also, that's not quite enough space, so let me show you what I did next. So these dry bags, I should say, were some I found on Amazon, and they are 25 liters a piece. Pretty roomy. They fold over, strap down, and they just fit right over your seat wonderfully. And the rack that is already there looks like it's going to be plenty to hold everything away from the wheels and the pipes. I'll finish fastening those in just a minute, and I'll show you what I mean. But really happy with these bikes. With these bags. I had been using these Amazon Basics ones, which strap over, and they're not bad. They're actually quite good, but and they did quite well my first couple trips. But I just wanted something that was potentially a little more waterproof. I felt like if we got a big rain, that those zippers might leak a little bit. I feel good about these bags. So anyway, let me finish putting those in place. Okay, now I've got these bags in place, and I also have a little dry bag I can throw up here. Actually, it's not small. I think it's 60 liters. But I put it up there, and there's more room than you really even need at this point. But the cool thing about these bags is if they're not full, you can really cinch them in tight and they don't take up nearly as much space. But you know, just in case you do need it, there is the room for expansion. So I really like this. This bag is, all these bags are really nice, and you're not going to get anything wet in case you get caught in the rain. Next thing I'll show you is this little Oxford tank bag. It's relatively small, but it actually carries everything I need. I've seen much, bigger tank bags, but like I said, I don't know how much stuff you need to carry right there, but it seems to be enough room to carry everything. And so, anyway, I like it. One thing I forgot to tell you earlier, besides the being able to plug 2 USB devices in here, under the seat, there is also a cord that is connected to the battery. It's the same type cord you would have for a trickle charger or anything. and it plugs in, and it has two USB. It has two USB chargers as well. And what I do when I ride is I run that cord right up through here into my tank bag, and so as I'm riding, I can charge my drone batteries as well as an extra battery pack, while I'm also keeping all of my GoPro and my phone constantly charged. Oh, I do have one other thing to show you, and I know there'll be some negative comments on this one, but I don't care. All right, so this last one is, once again, these are not, it's not really a modification, but if you were to see me out riding sometime, you would see this. I thought, well, let's go ahead and talk about it. So this monstrosity is basically a mattress that is unbelievably comfortable. I looked at the Thermo King Mondo, and it was very highly reviewed. I actually saw another adventure rider carrying it and defending his decision. And you know, I'm 52, and at night I need a good night's rest. And so first time I went out, I had a tiny little inflatable air mattress, and I didn't sleep very well. The second time I went out with this bad boy, it inflates to 4 inches thick, and it's long enough for me, and it was wonderful. I slept so much better. That's my Kawasaki Versys X 300. I hope you enjoyed my video on these modifications, and I hope I get to see you out on the trail sometime. Hope you like this video. Like, share, subscribe, all that kind of stuff. But see you soon. Thanks, bye.